Hi everyone, we are the Group 5 and our report is about multi-grade teaching and learning multi-curriculum. So let's start with a question. What is multi-grade teaching? So it is stated here that multi-grade teaching, or MGT, is a teaching pedagogy that all pupils with different grade levels, ages, and abilities are taught simultaneously in the same classroom. So in more general term and probably more accurate is that multi-grade teaching is teaching more than one grade at the same time in the same classroom. So it refers to the teaching of students of different ages, grades, and abilities in the same group. Multi-grade teaching is not a new concept in our system of education because even today, multi-grade teaching is being practiced in many schools. So, meaning multi-grade teaching is prevalent or very common in our country. In multi-grade teaching, when a teacher handles many grades, the teacher has to adopt all techniques available for a natural and involved learning. So activity-based learning, peer learning, classroom learning, and classroom learning must take place for effective learning in the classroom. And in multi-grade teaching, the important duty of a teacher is to make every learner involved in learning activities without wasting students' time. And with the help of the gifted students, the other students are made to involve in their learning activities. So example of multi-grade teaching. So this is an example of multi-grade teaching. So as we can see, the teacher is teaching different ages in the same classroom.
So let's proceed to multi-level of teaching. A teacher teaches the content to the students of different learning levels or skills and abilities. In other words, multi-level teaching involves teaching students of multiple grades at once. In schools, this is often referred to as differentiation and involves teaching the same objectives to various learners at different levels. It's basically teaching the same concept at various learning levels. So, these are the strategies in multi-level of teaching. First, to teach the middle, then assign leveled activities. As a teacher, you need to observe your students to see who is finishing assignments and actively quickly and with ease and who is struggling to keep up. If you see that someone is struggling, engage them to practice vocabulary words rather than actually working on grammar assignments because this can easily help them to develop their skills. Second, encourage group work. Group work can provide a great opportunity for students of different levels to learn from each other. Students can learn with their fellow classmates because it is more easy to understand what the students will be explaining. Third, teach around themes. Rather than planning entire lessons based around the grammar concept, in multi-level teaching, it can be helpful to teach around themes. This way, students from each proficiency level will be learning how to speak about a given topic, even if it is to varying degrees. For example, if a class is focused on jobs and careers, beginning students will learn some essential vocabulary and grammar related to the topic, while More advanced students may practice talking about their skills or answering interviews question. Again, this is practical for the teacher and for creating a sense of community in class. Fourth, include the four language skills in each class. We teachers should already know how to work on each of the four language in every class. And this is especially important in multi-level teaching. These include reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Each student has its strengths and weaknesses regardless of their proficiency level, and covering all four language skills ensure that everyone challenged and everyone has their moment to shine. For the necessity of multi-grade teaching, it is to teach students by imparting knowledge, not just follow a curriculum. So as a teacher, we must be able to develop skills and inculcate desirable values and attitudes among pupils. The teacher is expected to be versatile and utilize different strategies to make learning meaningful and effective for all students in his or her classroom. That's why, as a teacher, we need to make a strategy wherein students can learn easily. Especially for the slow learners, they need more attention to be able to do their task or activities. That's why if we are making activities, we need to make sure that all of our students can join for them to have a advanced knowledge and also for them to develop the way they think.
Where in the Philippines multi-grade classes were located? It is practiced and implemented often in elementary schools located in isolated or remote areas and sparsely populated localities. Based from the 2019 review of current situation and practices of multi-grade schools in the Philippines, there are 8,379 multi-grade schools out of 38,911 public schools in the Philippines. And Eastern Visayas have the most numbers of multi-grade schools in the Philippines. Why is multi-grade teaching implemented in the Philippines? First of all, it brings education closer to school-age children, especially for those who are located in isolated, hard-to-reach, and small numbers of populated communities. Second, small numbers of learners for each grade level. Third, shortage of teachers. Fourth, distance from community to the nearest schools. So for some learners, they have to walk from 30 minutes to 1 hour and more just until they reach their school. Fifth, not enough funds in classrooms. In addition, Montalba said that the instruction of multi-grade is beneficial since most teachers will teach in remote areas. That provides good teaching experience. It also allows teachers to empower and engage the learners by providing multiple ways to learn, and it is also proven as an effective learning delivery mode.
Let us proceed to the teacher's problem in multi-grade teaching. First here is handling of different classes simultaneously in the same room. So, since our students have different personalities, we have to teach them according to their needs. Number two, preparation of teaching learning materials for all subjects and for all classes. Since we have different subjects in elementary like science, math, Filipino like that, we have to make different teaching learning materials in each subject because they don't have the same topic and lessons at the same time.
Next is to pay individual attention to the slow learners. So as a teacher, it is a responsibility to teach them individually or when they do not understand or when they can't answer a task. For example, in math, we can teach them individually in solving. Number 4 is to provide sufficient reading practice. So, as a teacher, it is our responsibility to know if our students know how to read. Number 5 is to concentrate in the allotment of activities. So, we have to divide the activities according to the time. So, we have time of discussion, recitation, and also activities like that. And number 6, identify students' difficult portion and teach them. Like in the picture, if a student finds the lesson very difficult, we can review it again and until they understand the lesson.
So, as we go on to the advantages of multi-grade teaching for students, there are some. Number one is to develop the skills of collecting data and communication skills at a young age itself. Because, as they say, communication is the key, and there are some communication skills like active listening, communication method, friendliness, confidence, sharing feedback, volume and clarity, empathy, and respect. Okay, the second advantage is that the student strengthens their learning by explaining the learned concept to the other students. The example of this is the concept linking activities. Invite students to take the rule of a specific concept explored in a unit and ask them to sit in a circle of 4 or 5 people, each representing a different concept. They then make connection to each other, explaining how and why they connect using evidence from the prior learning. Next one is to provide to all the learners to participate in a group discussion. Participation even helps teachers control how much they talk. Participation encourages dialogue among in between student to student can be asked to comment on what another student has said. A question can be asked and student can be invited to discuss possible answer with each other before the public discussion. The last advantage is that social habits like helping attitude, cooperation, service mentality are developed among the learners.
Learning skills of students. Number 1, learning to speak. Number 2, read and write. Number 3, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division in numbers. Number 4, understanding the natural environment and learning to adapt to society. Next is multi-grade teaching strategies. Number 1, teaching one topic at all and at varying levels of difficulty using differentiated activity. Number 2, peer teaching or tutoring. Number 3, jump strategy or teaching one grade while others work independently.